Welcome to the deep dive. We got some really interesting material from you all this time, focusing on Edward Druce's ideas about, mentorship and building professional connections.
Yeah, it's really good stuff.
So our plan for this deep dive is to pull out the most useful, the most actionable strategies from his work, stuff that can actually help you connect with and, learn from those experienced people you admire.
Basically, give you a bit of a shortcut.
Exactly. We want to help you build those connections that really matter.
And what's fascinating about Druce, I think, is how he flips the whole script on, like finding a mentor. It's not passive at all.
Right. It's not about just waiting for someone to guide you.
No, it's much more active. It's about contributing, engaging with people whose work you genuinely respect.
Okay, let's jump straight in then. One of the first things that really grabbed me was this pretty blunt statement Druce makes. No one wants to be your mentor. Kind of hits you, doesn't it?
It does, and it's really key to understanding his whole philosophy. He argues that the word itself, mentor, just comes with all this baggage, expectations.
Like a burden.
Exactly, like a burden. When someone hears, "Will you be my mentor?" they might immediately think, oh, great, here come the endless requests, the big time commitment. It taps into that, basic human thing of avoiding open-ended promises.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. The psychology of it. It sets up this weird dynamic from the start.
Yeah, it implies this hierarchy, maybe even demands that aren't really spoken.
So if you're not supposed to ask someone to be your mentor, what's the alternative?
Well, Druce is pretty clear. Just don't use the word, at least not up front. Focus instead on building a real relationship with someone whose work clicks with you.
Build the connection first.
Right. And if down the line it naturally evolves into guidance and support, great. You might look back and say, yeah, they were a mentor. But that's hindsight. It's not the goal you start with.
Okay, so less about the label, more about the genuine connection, which leads perfectly into his next big idea, right? Shifting your focus from what you get to what you can give.
Precisely. This is like the cornerstone, a really critical mindset shift. Instead of walking in thinking, what can this person do for me? You have to constantly be asking yourself, how can I help them? How can I contribute to their success?
It changes everything about how you approach them and how they see you, presumably.
Absolutely. Because now you're not just someone asking for help. You're potentially someone who brings value.
He has that great line, doesn't he? About how your mindset should be that you're adding to the party.
Yes, I love that analogy.
Instead of just trying to, fill some hole in your own career, it makes you sound like you're bringing something positive, something useful.
Totally. It's
Okay.
about showing up with something to offer. If you can demonstrate, look, I can actually help you with your goals, they're suddenly way more likely to invest time in you, even if it's never called mentorship.
Okay, so adopt the value add mindset. But then how do you figure out who are the right people to even try and connect with? Druce has some specific criteria. Yeah.
He does. He suggests looking for three main things in these potential guides. First, they actually know how to make money, and crucially, they show signs of being profitable.
Right. Not just talking a good game. They've actually done it.
Exactly. You want to learn from someone who's walked the walk, achieved real results in the area you're interested in.
Makes sense. What's the second one?
Second, they've shown real ambition to grow. You want people who are still striving, still expanding, still pushing.
So they're still in the game, facing current challenges you can learn from.
Precisely. Their journey is ongoing, which makes their current strategies and, frankly, their current struggles really valuable to understand.
And the third one, it was about in-person work. Why is that so important for him?
Yeah, the potential for in-person work. Druce really believes there's just no substitute for actual face-to-face interaction sometimes.
Even in today's world.
Even today. He argues that the subtle stuff you pick up, the casual conversations, watching how they actually operate day to day, that provides learning you just can't fully replicate over Zoom.
Okay, I can see that. So find profitable, ambitious people you could potentially work with in person. Now, assuming you found someone like that, what about preparing yourself? He lists 3 things you need to be ready. First one's about skills.
Yes, developing and, importantly, marketing hard skills. This is fundamental. You need actual demonstrable skills relevant to their world.
So you're not just an admirer, you're a potential contributor.
Exactly. It shows you're serious, you've invested in yourself, you have something concrete to offer. And it's not just having the skills, it's being able to explain their value to them. Like, here's a project I did, and here's how that kind of work could help your business.
Got it. Show, don't just tell. What's the second thing needed for preparation? Research.
Oh, yeah. Deep research. Druce is emphatic about this. You need to read, watch, listen to everything they've put out there. Books, videos, interviews, websites, social media. All of it.
Not just a quick skim of their LinkedIn profile.
Definitely not. It's about really immersing yourself, understanding their ideas, their language, how they think. It shows genuine interest and respect, like prepping properly for a big meeting.
Right. It shows you've done the work. And the third thing is getting inside their head. That sounds intense.
It is, but it's crucial. It means figuring out their core motivations, what drives them, what's their business structure like, and really importantly, what are their current frustrations, their challenges.
Trying to see the world from their perspective.
Exactly. He even gives like 10 questions to help you think about this. Like, what are their audience's biggest problems? Or what's frustrating them about delivering their solutions right now? If you understand their pain points.
You're much better placed to offer a relevant solution, or at least understand where they're coming from.
Precisely.
Okay, so you found someone, you've skilled up, researched like crazy, tried to get inside their head. Now what? How do you actually, make contact?
Well, Druce suggests trying to build some familiarity before any kind of direct pitch. If you can, maybe connect with people on their team first or others in their network.
Get on the radar indirectly?
Kind of. It can give you insights, maybe even lead to a warmer introduction later. And when you do meet them, he suggests thinking about a small, thoughtful gift.
A gift? Like what?
Not just anything, something specific that addresses a problem you know they might have, something that shows you've really been paying attention.
Demonstrating that deep research again. Very clever.
And he also says, if you get the chance, connect with their wider circle too, friends, colleagues, maybe even family, if it happens naturally.
Why is that important?
It just reinforces that you're interested in their whole world, not just what they can do for you. It helps build actual rapport. Shows you're someone they might actually, like having around.
Okay, makes sense. Build rapport, show value. So let's say the first meeting happens. What's the absolute must-do next step? Druce really hammers the follow-up, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely. A thank you email sent almost immediately. That's non-negotiable.
And the point of this email isn't to ask for something yet.
No, definitely not. The main goal is just to start a dialogue you can build on later. He says mention specifically how their work has helped you and bring up something specific from the conversation to prove you are actually listening and engaged.
So personalize it. Show you were present. And crucially, ask for nothing.
Nothing at all in that first one. Pure gratitude, solidifying the connection. He also, interestingly, mentions using email tracking services.
Oh, why is that?
Just subtle feedback, really. Knowing if they opened it tells you if your message even landed. It's not foolproof, but it's data.
And he contrasts that email with the in-person meeting, right? Like the email is a chance to show more.
Yeah, exactly. In person, you're building rapport. The email is your chance, in a non-pushy way, to maybe demonstrate a bit more of your understanding of their business, your skills, without being overwhelming.
Okay, which brings us to the big one. Crafting that outreach email, the one where you might actually propose something. He has that dream problem solution framework. Can you walk us through that?
Sure, it's a really solid structure. First, a line of intent, one clear sentence. Why are you emailing?
It's straight to the point.
Yep. Then address their dream. What are their big goals, their aspirations? Show you understand what they're trying to achieve.
Connect with their vision.
Then identify a specific problem they're likely facing and trying to reach that dream. Something concrete.
Based on your research and understanding.
Exactly. Then comes the solution part. This is where you gently suggest how you might be able to help with that specific problem. Not a huge commitment, just positioning yourself.
Okay. Dream, problem, solution. What else?
You also need to overcome obstacles. Think about why they might say no and address those potential objections up front.
Anticipate their hesitations. Smart.
And finally, after a professional closing, add a PS bonus. This is where you offer some immediate, tangible value.
The tasty tip thing he mentions.
Right. Give them something useful right away. It comes back to that core idea. Add value from the absolute start. Make your first offer low risk for them, but high value.
Demonstrates capability, builds trust instantly. Love it. Now, writing an email like that, it sounds like something you really need to take your time with.
Oh, definitely. Druce insists it's not a rush job. It's a multi-stage process. Draft it, then absolutely sleep on it.
Let it sit.
Yes. Look at it fresh the next day, trying to read it as if you were the busy person receiving it. Maybe even put it aside for another night.
Wow, okay.
And then, crucially, get feedback. Show it to several smart people you trust, get different perspectives. And obviously, the final step is a super careful proofread. No mistakes.
That whole process just screams professionalism and respect for their time, doesn't it? Speaking of which, he has that list of big mistakes people make. We should probably cover some of those
Yeah.
real practical pitfalls.
Absolutely. Top of the list, unsurprisingly. Spelling and grammar errors. Instant credibility killer.
Yep, seen that happen.
Then, like we said, using the word mentor. Just avoid it. Also keeping the tone professional. No lulls or overly casual stuff.
Right. Keep it tight.
Exactly. And keep emails short. Busy people won't read essays. Don't just attach your resume out of the blue. It makes it about you.
Shifts the focus wrong.
Totally. Avoid weird fonts. Make sure your signature is clean. No sent from my iPhone. And a big one. Never ever say anything that makes it sound like you plan to compete with them down the road.
Oof, yeah. That would not go down well. These are all such clear, actionable warnings. Often the little things.
They really are. They signal your attention to detail or lack thereof.
So you've sent your carefully crafted email after all that prep. What's next? Do you just wait? Druce talks about persistence, right?
Yeah.
But professionally.
Yeah, his advice is basically, once you hit send, start thinking about your next outreach to someone else. Don't just sit there hitting refresh.
Keep the momentum going.
Right. And if you don't hear back right away, it doesn't automatically mean they hate you or aren't interested. People are busy. A short, relevant follow-up in the same email thread a week or so later can be okay.
Gentle nudge.
Gentle, relevant nudge. He also mentions other low-key ways to stay visible, like thoughtful blog comments or relevant social media engagement, but warns you not to overdo it. Don't be a stalker.
Right? Helpful, not creepy. And what if you actually get a clear no?
Respect it. Absolutely respect the no. Thank them for their time, genuinely. If they said something like bad timing, Druce suggests it's okay to politely ask if you could check back in, say, 6 months or whatever seems appropriate.
Leaves the door slightly ajar,
It's
respectfully.
Exactly. Shows you respect their decision, but are still interested.
This whole approach has been a really insightful deep dive into Druce's thinking. For me, the big takeaway is just how much it shifts the dynamic. It's not about passively seeking mentorship.
No, not at all.
It's about actively taking the initiative, consistently looking for ways to add real value, showing you've done your homework, and really trying to understand their world, their needs.
Couldn't agree more. It's a fundamental shift from, let's be honest, what can sometimes be a self-focused quest, to something that's about mutual benefit, building a real connection.
It's about becoming the kind of person successful people want in their network because you actually contribute something.
Exactly. You bring something valuable to the party.
So for everyone listening, as you think about all this, here's a final thought to chew on. Instead of just thinking about who you admire the most, maybe ask yourself, whose problems am I genuinely excited about and uniquely equipped to help solve?
Ooh, that's a great reframing.
Because aligning your skills with their specific needs, that might just be where the most powerful connections and the best learning opportunities truly lie.
Yeah, that's where the magic might happen. And maybe as a concrete next step, just look back at the material, or even just what we talked about, and pick one small thing, one tiny action step you can take today based on these ideas.
Just start somewhere.
Exactly. That first small step can make all the difference in building these kinds of relationships.